Okay, so we're looking at the GoogleVR GearVR camera setup. We've been through everything. The last part of this is the platform-dependent compilation. And so we've included platform custom defined, so it's possible to write code which is only executed for GoogleVR or it's only executed for GearVR. So maybe, you know, maybe you want to do something special with the touchpad on the GearVR. And you don't want to do that for the GoogleVR. This allows you to write different code that's going to work for the GoogleVR and GearVR. And you'll notice that when you go to your VR build settings, for example, if I say build GoogleVR and I'm in the build settings, on the player settings, here we go. There is a scripting defined symbols, and you'll see that now it's VR underscore GoogleVR. And if I switch over to the GearVR, you'll see that the scripting defined symbols is VR underscore GearVR. Now we actually have a tool that makes that allows you to do this for anything, any platform that you want, like the Linux and the Xbox, or everything, and create your own custom. So let's say you had, you had some other custom platform, like for example, the Idealins K2, and you wanted to run some special code just for that. Custom Define Manager lets you create your own custom defines. However, built into this asset, it already does the GearVR and the GoogleVR platform custom defines for you. And you can also turn this off. For example, if I was using my Custom Define Manager asset and I had set up a GearVR and a GoogleVR, so essentially that means I'd already taken care of this issue, or you just don't want to use this at all, you can go to your GoogleVR, or go to the VR build settings, VR build options. That highlights the options file, and enable custom defines is checked. That means it's going to use it. So if I uncheck that, now if I go on back to the build settings and I go to player settings, now I have control over this. And so now that I've deleted that, and for example, if I switch to GearVR, nothing happens. Switch to GoogleVR, nothing happens. So that option allows you to turn on and off in your VR build options using the custom defines, whether you want to use those or not. And then let's take a quick look at how that looks in scripting. So here I am. Let me just go to the no movement script. And when it starts, I'm just going to say, usually you do custom defines here. You say if, and I'm going to say VR underscore GearVR. And then we will run some code. We'll say debug.log GearVR. Copy that. And then we'll say an else if. And that's actually one word, else if. No, it's EL. You'll see if I type like this, I get a hint. ELIF. And I can say VR underscore Google VR. I want to debug.log Google VR. And then we of course want to do a pound end. Again, I messed up. It's pound end if. So now if I say VR build settings, build GearVR, and I look at my script, I'm going to say reload. You'll see that this line is colored and this one's grayed out. Let's go back and we'll say VR build settings, build GoogleVR. And now let's go back into our script and hit reload. Now this line is active because that preprocessor is set. And the same thing happens, of course, for the build. When I build for GearVR, only this line will run, and of course when I build for GoogleVR, only this line will run. So that's how you use the platform custom defines, which lets you, of course, run custom code for either your GoogleVR or your GearVR project. Alright, let me know if you have any questions, and see you guys in the next video.